Is it still trendy to talk about Eurovision Song Contest? I hope so, because I wanted to let you know why I did find Ukrainian's entry the best and the one that should have won this year's contest. It has modal music at its best, it has rhythmic diversity, and has some key changes. So let's deep dive Ukrainian's entry, Bird of Prey, by the band Ziferblat. First of all, the introduction. You have only two elements. First, the guitar pattern composed by four notes: G sharp, B, F, and F sharp. You'll see that this is G sharp Dorian territory, so meaning the 1, flat 3, natural 6, and flat 7, so the natural 6 being played instead of the flat 6. And the high-pitched vocalist singing a lick that could have come off from a synth. So it has this progressive genre roots into it. Another thing that I would like to point out is how these two elements interact between themselves. So it seems like a little bit of an uneven feel comparing to what happens later on, which is way more grounded and four on the floor sort of approach. Here, you kind of seem like you're trying to find where the one is. So it seems like a little bit of a 3/4 or 6/8 sort of approach. But it's interesting that to keep things fresh and interesting, they don't kind of repeat themselves often, as we will see, and always try to adjust this slight adjustments throughout the song just to keep things fresh and new. Now we're in the verses. The verses have a totally different setting comparing to the first section. So we're moving from a pastoral mood to a more triumphant, more vibrant, more forward motion sort of ambient. And for that purpose, we use two different modes. First of all, we use G sharp Phrygian, which is basically like a regular minor scale, but with a flat 2 instead of the 2. And for that use is seen in the second chord of the verses. So we start on C sharp. I'm using C sharp sus, but it could have been C sharp minor. And when you go to the second, this chord, or this chord, is the A, that is the flat 2, that shows that we're in G sharp Phrygian. Also, we use the harmonic minor scale, and the harmonic minor scale is basically the regular minor, but with a natural 7 instead of the flat 7. So, like this. Instead of, and we see this on the second section of the verses when we move from C sharp to E flat over G. So even in terms of the melody, they kind of sing the regular version of the scale, but the harmony is kind of superimposing this harmonic minor environment. And also what is curious is that on the build-up in between the verses, they use the regular minor version of E flat instead of this E flat major. So they, instead of, so what is curious is that this E flat is strategically used just to create a little bit more of diversity and freshness, I would say, to this section of the song. Now we enter in a new phase of the song that we can call chorus transition or pre-chorus. And basically, we're slowing things down again a little bit comparing to our previous section of the verses. And it has this curiosity that we play the first two chords, which are basically C sharp, but we change from major to minor, also using the third on the bass. If you still think, and we're in G sharp territory, you might wonder again, but what is the mode that we're in? And this is a slight change between Dorian and Aeolian, but we then see with the build-up that we're actually in G sharp Dorian, because we're going from 1 to the 4 diatonically in G sharp Dorian. So we do this again, this build up that will do this transition to the chorus, and we go there and we're going to change keys via a secondary dominant, as we'll see in a minute. So as we were saying, we're now in the chorus, and the chorus is approached via a secondary dominant that comes from our previous key, that was G sharp Dorian. So we were in G sharp Dorian, and we did this build up, if you recall. And the last chord, which is the 4 chord in G sharp Dorian, this C sharp, is the 5 of F sharp, and you're going to F sharp. In this case, it will be F sharp Dorian. So the first chord is F sharp minor 9, is your new key, F sharp Dorian. And what I would like also to point out in this new section is that we will have, this chorus has a lot of colored tones. So I've played this F sharp 9 and this B6, and so we have this lot of colored tones and haunting tones, or whatever you might want to call them. This just provides more lushness and richness to the song. So it's a very distinctive factor in this section. Another thing that I would like to highlight in this section is the clever use of the half diminished chord, in this case the B flat minor 7 flat 5, that is used differently in 2 occasions. So first, it uses like as a point of tension, or an additional point of tension chromatically, prior to the movement, so from the regular 3 to the flat 3, so doing the B flat to A, that we use here in this. We're just moving this bass from B flat to A, which gives this chromatic tension point. So this is the first use, and the second use is like a sort of a predominant function, when in the second time it's used like this. So it's being used just like as your pre-5, that even then is kind of separated between two chords although with the bass on the 5, in this case on C sharp. Those two uses kind of again make you wonder what would be the next step in the song, and they are always surprising your ear and are always making you crave for more. Now we're in the solo and we're transitioning from F sharp Dorian to, again, the versus key, which was G sharp Phrygian via secondary dominant. So E flat to A flat minor. But one thing that I would also like to point out is the last chord of this section, which is A. But I've played the A6-9, and this will actually do a new, or provide a new transition to, in this case, what I've called the chorus modulated, that we'll see in a minute. So we're going to change keys again, but unlike the previous chorus that we were in F sharp Dorian and we went via secondary dominant, now we're going to do something different that is going to be the modulation via voice lead that we'll see in a minute. Now we're in the new section that we can call the chorus modulated. And the chorus modulated is basically your previous chorus, but in a new key, although with a twist, like we will see in a minute. But first of all, just to understand how we come from the solo to your new section, our last chord was the A6-9. And this chord just gels perfectly well with the G minor 9 that will be the next chord. So we're going from G sharp Phrygian to G Dorian. We're dropping half step, but via voice leading instead of the secondary dominant, which was the usual trait in this song. So breaking down the chord, we have this beauty, and we can see that, for instance, we can keep the A, but if you drop the C sharp to, or in this case you raise to D, you can raise also the E to F, again half step, F sharp to G, and now dropping the B to B flat. Of course, now you'll need to reshuffle this chord, so putting the G on the bass, putting the B flat here, and removing the B flat in here, and also substituting the G that you already have in the bottom for the A that you have removed, and you have your G minor 9. So it's very interesting how they can achieve this new key, new G Dorian via this voice leading movement. As I was saying, this is almost the same chorus that was before, but it has a nuance, which is they play initially with our expectations, and they use this device of minor to major that they have previously used in the, if you recall, in the pre-chorus. They use it again here before entering in the proper chorus modulated. In the beginning, they use this. So they're basically doing the regular chorus, but then they play this D minor 7. You're always playing like with the minor scale, eventually the Dorian scale, but then you play that major chord, which is you play this F sharp, and in the bottom you have this D major, which is your perfect 5 to the, so this D7 is your perfect 5 to, again, to the G minor, which is your initial chord. So again, excellent songwriting, textbook songwriting, amazing. And they do this for the second time. Before jumping in to the what is the actual chorus modulated. So now you're going to have exactly the same thing that you had before, but with your new key. So instead of being in F sharp Dorian, you're in G Dorian, but basically is the same, with one exception. That exception is the dropout. As you might know, the dropout is when a chord is played and the band stops. They use this device twice in this final section, and so it's basically in this initial chord, and again in the second chord, prior to the band picking up and things go on the usual flow of. And they do again near the end, they use again this dropout feature, which is also curious, because again, even when you thought, well, this is exactly the same section but modulated, and they're doing it all over again, no, wait, there's this element of surprise that they insert for you to, oh, okay, this is new. So there's always something new in the mix, and it's amazing how they were so creative with this song. Outro modulated, so it's, in this case, we're meeting the expectations. So it's basically your introduction that was already in the middle of the song, kind of grounded to a 4 on the floor beat, but now instead of being played in G sharp Dorian, we're going to play in A Dorian. Again, using the same device of secondary dominant, so in this case the 5 of 2, and particularly we're talking about E or E7 before jumping into A. So it's I've also inserted like a Dorian lick in my video. I'm not so sure if it's exactly that lick, but it sounded good. But it's something played in the back, like a synth playing that line. But yeah, in the middle, in the end, they wrap it up with how they started, but with a different rhythm or with a different time signature, but also a different key. So it seems like you're ending in where you started, but not exactly like that. So it has these subtle changes, these subtle details that maybe the casual listener won't be able to grasp. But once you deep dive, you see that it's amazing, and it's completely fascinating to understand the several details and nuances of this song. As a conclusion, this is an amazing song and just reinforces the reason why I watch Eurovision Song Contest every single year. I know that I will only enjoy about 10% of the songs, but I also know that I'll be able to find out some hidden gems, such as Bird of Prey by Ziferblat. So please let me know in the comments if I got something wrong or if I missed something, considering the song's complexity.